So what I'll do is we'll go through the patch notes first. And we'll go through it all. And then I will talk about my opinions and my views on it. So starting with Emma Frost. Looks like the White Queen is trading a bit of offense for more glam. Her damage and her survivability in diamond form are taking a slight hit. So reduced telepathic pulse damage at 99 energy from 120 to 110 a second, and from 150 to 140 at 100 energy. So 10 damage a second. I think it's okay. I think that's an okay change. She does do quite a lot of damage. Reduced diamond form damage reduction from 30 to 25. That's quite a significant damage reduction change. Obviously affects her survivability quite a bit in that diamond form. But she gets a slight buff, reducing the energy cost of Psionic Seduction from 3,700 to 3,400. I don't mind this. I think Emma was very, very strong. So I think these are pretty good balance changes. One sec. Thing. We're not afraid to say it. It's clobbering time. Now it's smoother moves and more utility. Time for more pain with your brothers and sisters in arms. New ability, Battle Blitz. The Thing leaps towards enemies, gaining 25% damage reduction. Leap targeting distance to enemies is 20 meters. Stone Haymaker, new effect, knocks down hit flying enemies. I think this makes Thing really fucking strong. It gives you so much more. Sorry, my brain is like running at like 100 miles an hour as I'm thinking through it. It gives you so much more flexibility in how you play him. The knockdown flying enemies is really cool. What I want to know from this actually is this any Haymaker? How you play Thing right now, and like the most effective way to play Thing currently is all about min-maxing, right? You are basically just this fucking wall where you just can't be, like, you can't be touched, right? You keep getting healed. You're just this big fucking lumbering wall that gets in people's faces. If you get too close, you're going to get punched out, right? Or you play backline and you protect your supports from like Mega Dive. So now you have, especially if these are independent cooldowns, if these are independent from each other and not the same ability, that is a huge, huge buff for Thing. Like this might put him in like S tier. As well as being able to knock down flyers, right? And also if this is on every Haymaker, it means that you don't have to like leap up to them. You don't have to use this to leap up to them and then hit them. So for example, you could jump off like a high ground, Haymaker them down, and then if they try and get back up, then you can use your Battle Blitz to get back up to them and punch them back down again. So this actually makes him a pretty good anti-air tank now. Venom! That was a long time we spent on that change. Venom's got a stickier grip. Control after diving is now slightly more terrifying. Increased cellular corrosion. Enemy slow from 15 to 25. That is gigantico. That's a really big Venom buff. In regards to Vanguards, the fact that Mag has not had a single change is absolutely fucking beyond me. I cannot believe that Mag has not had any kind of nerf whatsoever. I cannot believe that Thor is untouched. Thor is not fine. Okay, here's the biggest problem, Yanni, right? He has no damage reduction. He's got no shielding. He's got no way to stand and soak. The only thing that he has is the bonus health that he gets when he uses Thor Force, but it's just so much worse than everybody else. And we saw that in Pro, right? There's a reason that Thor was the only tank that was never played, apart from for like 30 seconds. He is a good DPS, I think. I think he's a good tanky DPS if you view him that way. But there needs to be a conversation change around him if they're not going to change him. It's so hard to justify running a Thor when you have so much better DPS. So yeah, the biggest standout to me is that Mag is completely untouched in this. I think Mag's damage is absurd. His one-shot combo is fucking absurd. He needed a damage nerf, and the fact that that's not there is unreal. Human Torch. Johnny's getting a team up anchor effect, but a little less firepower to balance things out. I think this is bullshit. We'll talk about this. Reduce fire cluster damage per projectile from 6 to 5.5. So very minor nerf, but there's quite a lot of projectiles, so it does kind of add up over time. Reduce supernova activation shockwave damage from 80 to 75. And fire tornadoes damage over time from 120 to 110. Is this enough for him not to be able to supernova through support ults? I don't think so, right? I still think that's probably enough damage, enough stacking damage to be able to go through it, right? And then adds the team up anger bonus of 5% damage boost. So basically, he's the same. 5.7775 essentially. So he's actually only losing 0.25 of this, realistically. And similarly to this. Team up anchor completely ignores the nerfs. Yep. So this is bollocks, basically, in my opinion. This is one of the changes that's made me think that they don't fucking play their game. Human Torch has been so unbelievably dominant. So unbelievably dominant. His damage output is absolutely absurd. He's still going to be first banned. He's still going to be high prior banned in pro, for sure. Iron Man. Tony's slightly powering down the reduced damage output and longer wait time for his ultimate. So the first two repulsor blast hits from 40 to 35 and from 50 to 45 while in armor overdrive. Not really sure why it's only the first two. This is such an odd change to me. Why would you just not reduce all of it?
Do it! Do it, do it, do it!
You know? Hi, Do It. How are you? Increase the energy cost of Invincible Pulse Cannon from 2800 to 3400. This I like. The amount of fucking ults you could get with Iron Man was stupid. So I think this is a really good change. Mr. Fantastic, reduced inflated state bonus health from 400 to 350. I think while that will be important in some use cases, I still think, having played quite a bit Mr. Fantastic the last few days, I think he's still going to be really good. Is he going to be meta? Probably not. Because I think one of the things about Mr. Fantastic that I've been learning is he creates so much forward pressure. It's crazy. With the amount of just movement he has, the pullback or the slam together, I was one-shotting Punishers. I was completely hard countering Punisher ults by myself by popping my shift as Mr. Fantastic, making sure I'm locked onto the Punisher, and then just firing it straight back at him, and it one-shots him. In his ultimate, by the way. So, there are so many crazy good plays you can make with him, and I don't think that's gonna... It hurts him, right? A little bit. Namor! These are some big boy buffs for Namor. Increased Trident of Neptune projectile damage from 70 to 75. And projectile speed from 120 to 150. Oh my goodness gracious. To put that into perspective, that is the same speed as Storm's left click. And they've done the same thing for his right click. This guy is gonna slap you so fast and you won't even realize what's happening. This is mega buffs for Namor. Because part of Namor's problem has been that he's so reliant on the squids. Obviously, that's a huge part of his kit. But his other damage outside of the squids has felt kind of lackluster, you know? It's felt kind of meh. With Jean Grey coming in, who can clear the squids very easily, they've obviously identified that, hey, that's going to be an issue for Namor's. So we need to give him more damage and more ability to work without the squids. And it's really, really nice, I think. That's a really nice change. Scarlet Witch. Wonder's ultimate got a little more Hextra. Who writes this shit, dude? Who writes this? Reduce max slow rate during reality erasure. Charge period from 35 to 25. That's big. That's big. You're only slowed 25%. This, to me, is going to be equivalent to Punisher buffs. We saw how much 10% move speed changed Punisher's ult to be fucking, like, crazy good. This now, I think, is going to do a similar thing for Scarlet Witch. 25% is still significant, but not nearly as much. And increased damage. So now, I'm pretty sure she can one-shot everybody in the game. Groot is the highest health hero with 850 HP. I think the only thing she can't one-shot is obviously any, like, invincibility frames. So, obviously, like, Star-Lord invincibility frames. Probably not Mr. Fantastic when he's shifting. Hela ult, maybe? Scarlet Witch is going to be secretly super, super good. Oh, Monster Hulk. That's a good point, Yanni. Monster Hulk. Yeah. I already thought Scarlet Witch was secretly quite good this season. And that I think people have been sleeping on her a little bit into this anti-air vibe, an anti-dive vibe. I think she's secretly good into both. I think this just makes her even better. So I would not be surprised to see quite a bit of Scarlet Witch this season. I think these incremental buffs that they've kept giving her are big. Spider-Man. Let me tell you, when I read this, I just had to sit here for like 30 seconds and just sit and go, why? Spidey loses team up anchor bonus, but gains a new team up ability and a bit more bite. So his kick is improved by 5. His mid-air damage from 5, and his amazing combo damage by 5. Does anybody know what his team up anchor was? Was it 5% damage? So maybe it's just to compensate for that. That in combination with the new fucking team up. If you guys don't know what the new team up is, when he's played with this piece of shit, Human Torch, he gets a burning web, a burning spider tracer that burns over time, which he can use in combination with his normal spider tracker. This is obviously just to compensate for the team up anchor bonus, right? This is just to keep him on par. But that with the new team up is, nah, ban this guy. Can you imagine the sweaty motherfucking combos we're gonna see with double spider tracer bullshit? Perma fucking ban. Perma ban. Punisher. Frank's turret is losing some sting. His ultimate's gonna need more juice. So reduce culling turret projectile damage from 12 to 10. And decrease spell field damage from 12 to 10. Good. I think the turret was very, very strong.
Here they are.
I feel like they've kind of addressed it by just upping his ultimate ability cost. But I feel like they should reduce the amount that turret builds the energy rather than just like upping the cost. Does that make sense? Because of the amount of bullets that you get with this, it would just build up your ult so fucking fast. It's not the worst. I think Punisher is still going to be really, really strong. They've not addressed the move speed at all in the ult, so they're keeping that on. I still think he's going to be mega, mega good. Still a very good staple. And Bucky buffs. Adjust roster and damage fall off. Maximum at 40 meters from 60 to 70. So basically a 10% buff for his damage fall off when he's poking you at range. Lovely. We love this. Yeah, we love this. Wolverine. Logan's control frequency is taking a slight hit as he now needs more time to sharpen those claws between leaps. Increase feral leap strike duration from 4 to 5 seconds and increase its cooldown from 12 to 15. I'll be honest, that's bullshit. Sorry, that's bullshit. That's the only nerf they've given Wolverine. Basically, for you guys who maybe did not sit and watch pros with us or have not come across this yet, Wolverine might be one of the strongest heroes out there right now because he basically guarantees you a pick-off 9 times out of 10 every 12 seconds. Every time, if you're playing against like even a remotely good Wolverine, you're pretty much guaranteed that pick-off whenever you leap. He now has a team up with Jean Grey where he gets not only burn damage if you're in his radius, which He's a melee champ. You're obviously going to be in his fucking radius because he kidnaps you and stuns you in his melee range. He gets motherfucking lifesteal? You cannot kill this guy. And from my understanding, by the way, it's not an activatable. He gets that whenever he leaps. He gets the team up, which is just fucking so ridiculous. This is one of the other changes that makes me think that they have not paid attention to the problem points of their game whatsoever. This is not even remotely enough of a nerf for how disgustingly strong this hero is. No damage considerations, like no rage buildup considerations, only a very small cooldown nerf. Sorry, but this is one of the stupidest shit I've ever seen. In terms of the rest of the DPS, this is bullshit. I think they've left so much untouched, right? Hela's not been touched. In fact, Hela's getting another buff to the team up. Or like a team up change. I feel like there's a lot of bad DPS that have not been addressed. Obviously, BP's not been addressed whatsoever. Black Widow's untouched. Magic's untouched. Star-Lord is untouched. This hero's dumb as fuck as well. Supports. Strategist. Sue. Sue's healing is a little bit more reliable. Increase orb projection healing on launch from 40 to 45 and damage from 20 to 25. And reduced healing on return from 40 to 35 and damage. Okay, so they've just taken some damage off the return and given it to the initial, which is just going to make her better. Because most of the time you're healing on the first hit, predominantly. So that's a nice just quality of life buff, I think, for Invis. And we'll just generally output more healing. Loki. This is another crazy fucking change that I cannot believe that they've left. They've increased his ultimate energy by 300. He is the strongest support in the game, by the way. For anyone who is not sure, maybe on par with Luna, maybe those two combined. He is insanely good at high level, and they've only... I mean, it is a very high energy cost ultimate, let's be honest. 4,300 is very high, but he can build it so fast with his clones and stuff. So they've not addressed the build-up whatsoever. They just keep increasing it more and more and more. And I think it's a bad balancing strategy. I don't understand, like, with a lot of these things as well, like Punisher as well. Instead of just making it this really high energy cost, why not address how it's built up? Like, reduce the way that it builds, right? Is that not just way better? I feel like it should have been more, but we'll see. Mantis. Mantis gets some really nice buffs. Mantis healing touch grows, and her ultimate is more potent, but its frequency is reduced. Healing flower new effect. Heals allies by 2.5% per second, but they've reduced the base healing from 20 to 12.5. What this means is she is way more effective on tanks now. So I believe the math is like, so 33, nearly 34 healing a second on a Groot. So for the tanks, it's way better healing. It's way more effective healing. For the DPS, for like standard DPS, let's say 275 DPS, it's like 19.37. So like just a tiny bit less. So overall, this is quite a nice buff. Definitely in trip support, which I think we're going to see a lot of triple support this season based on the changes and stuff. I think she's just even better. I think Mantis was already good. I think she's now just really, really solid. On top of that, you get increased bonus health, increased bonus max health from 100 to 150. But again, the support cost is much higher. So Ultron's going to have his update to his software. His defense taking a slight hit, and he's less of a team player. Reduced dynamic flight acceleration, effect time from 8 to 6. So that's his like dash boost. And then reduce the bonus health to himself from 75 to 65, and to allies from 55 to 50. I fucking hate this change. His damage is the problem. Ultron's damage is absurd. That's what they needed to tweak, not his fucking HP. I hate this. I think they should have gone way more in the support direction, or like at least try and balance it out more. They shouldn't have buffed his healing. I think his healing and stuff is actually really solid. But to bring him more in line, they needed to nerf his damage. His damage is the problem. And they've just completely untouched that. And then they've reduced his support capability. So now he's just a fucking DPS. Like, what the fuck is this? Luna is completely fucking untouched. Cloak is completely fucking untouched. Are you kidding me? Cloak has had no changes whatsoever. And I know there's a lot of strategist players that are going to come at me for this. Cloak is one of the most absurd heroes in this game. And it's ridiculous that they have as much as they have. An auto-aim heal that does AoE heal, by the way. Does auto-aim. A healing boost wall that also heals on contact. Right? Then she has a field of healing that is insane at self-healing and keeping herself alive. So that's one crazy self-sustaining tool that you can also throw on anybody, and it's crazy healing, right? So just that alone, like, makes her pretty good, honestly. Just this kit alone. Then you add in all of the cloak shit, where he has an insane amount of damage, by the way. It's like 75 damage a second in cloak form. On top of that, you've got a wall which does 28% vulnerability, which is basically a 28% damage boost for that duration. Do you know how insane that is? Storm's damage boost is, if I remember this correctly, is 12% to self, 8% to everybody else. This one ability does more damage boost than Storm and Mantis combined in one ability for Cloak. Then you've got the Fade, which is a fucking invulnerability fade out for everyone that can avoid all of the ults. And then the ultimate on top of that is one of the best ults in the game. Are you fucking kidding me? And this hero is completely untouched in this patch. Are they even playing their fucking game at this point? And listen, I tried to come at this positively. I really wanted this season to be good. But these changes are bullshit. Some of them are really nice. Some of them are valid. But on the whole, this is pretty fucking awful. The last couple of things, we'll just quickly go through the team ups. So this is the Human Torch Spider-Man. Human Torch gets 5% damage boost as being the anchor. And then Spider-Man gets the thing that we talked about, right? Phoenix and Wolverine, we talked about this. Phoenix, she gets a 10% damage boost. The ones that have been taken out, the Spider-Man Squirrel Girl team up is no longer there. Now Squirrel Girl gets the Iron Man team up, where she gets basically a homing squirrel that can hit flyers. It doesn't do a huge amount of damage, so I don't know like the cooldown on this or anything. So I'd be interested to see that, because I think this potentially puts Squirrel Girl in a crazy spot this season. The Storm Human Torch team up gets taken out. I like this because I would like Storm to have a non-ultimate reliant team up. And it's obvious why they do it, because Storm's team up is it's a tornado. It lends itself to a lot of team up opportunities. But she's the only one in the game where the only thing she has is like ultimate team ups. And then Venom, Jeff / Hela. Hela gets added into the symbiote stuff. Where she gets some tendrils on her stun that I think's slow. The Guardians Revival gets a 15-second change to the res comp. I don't think that's massive. I still think it's a crazy fucking team up, especially with Mantis being so good now. I think Honestly, I think we're still going to see a lot of Mantis, Warlock, Cloak comps, the triple support, because Mantis is even better now. So I think we will still see a lot of res comps, unfortunately. And slightly increasing Jeff's part of the team up with Venom. Gets more bonus HP. And 2 seconds on the Tendril Link is crazy. That's a big buff to the team up, actually. I feel like I don't really see this ever, but it's interesting that it's there. I will only say that I am big concerned. I am big concerned. There is a big amount of problems that they've not addressed. Not just within hero balance, but in the game itself. They've talked about a new comp mode in 3.5. But that doesn't sound like they're changing anything. It just sounds like they're adding a new mode on. So maybe like 5v5 or, I don't know, some kind of conquest, you know, capture the flag or some shit. It doesn't sound like they're changing the matchmaking whatsoever, which for me is a massive red flag. The hero changes are just... Like, I know this is an insane... like an insanely hard game to balance. And I always kind of feel like they're so conservative with their nerfs and buffs. They're so conservative. Some of those changes just seem so dumb to me. It feels like they and I don't want to put them down or anything because, you know, I can't imagine it's an easy game to do. And I think they've missed the mark on nearly every fucking point. I'll be honest. I feel like they've missed the mark on nearly everything in those balance changes. Playing tank this season, again, is just horrendous. Like, the Thing might be the only saving... Thing and Venom might be the only saving graces. Also, we didn't talk about cap. No cap changes at all. No cap changes either. Like, it's like they just have not noticed any of the problem areas whatsoever. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I'm happy to be surprised. I'm happy to be wrong. Like, if it turns out that, hey, some of the changes they made are really solid, I am so happy to hold my hands up and say, like, hey, all good. I misjudged it. That's totally fine. But man, I am very concerned. Those are my thoughts on these patch notes. So I don't know if these are just like temporary patch notes and we're going to get some more detailed ones about like every other aspect of the game around hero balance, like aside from hero balancing. Because this, I mean, these patch notes had nothing else on it. This is literally just hero balancing. So I'm hoping there's a more detailed one on the way as we get closer over the next few days, but I don't know.